And we're coming to you live for the Built Ford Tough Studio. Boomer Esiason, Greg Giannotti. It's Boomer and Gio on the Fan. Simulcast across the country on CBS Sports Network. And wherever you are in the free Odyssey app. Good Wednesday morning. Oh, welcome sight for the baseball team. Some offense and some good pitching and some rocking chair wins for once as the Yankees tie their record for most home runs in a game. They actually matched that earlier this year with 9, and the Mets with an offensive explosion. And wow, David Peterson goes 8 innings. We get some more of that with this rotation. Maybe you'll be getting some momentum heading into September and then into hopefully many games in October. Some real interesting football stuff. Our old buddy Daniel Jones being named the starter in Indianapolis. And our pal, Adam Schefter, our golf buddy, saying that Micah Parsons and the Dallas Cowboys headed for a divorce. If Adam's saying that, that means something serious is going on. Good morning, Boomer. How are you?
I'm doing great, G. And what a way to start a game last night for the Yankees. It was delayed, I know, but all of a sudden, bang, 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 and 3 straight home runs. That was amazing. That's, if you're a Yankee fan or you're Brian Cashman, you're Aaron Boone, and you're sitting there going, this is what it's supposed to be. I mean, not going to happen every game. We know that, but 9 home runs, and to start the game with 3 home runs like that was just absolutely amazing.
Yes.
What are you saying?
No. There was a name that I was trying to remember.
Okay.
With Al earlier. We were talking about something, and I couldn't remember the guy's name. You know how things just pop in your head out of nowhere, like minutes later?
Yeah, but I'm having a conversation with you.
Yeah, I wasn't interested about what you were saying. I was interested in trying to remember.
You were not interested about the Yankees starting a game with 3 home runs?
Of course, I'm kidding. I opened the show with it. Of course, I was interested. I just was joking. But it just popped in my head in that moment.
What's the name?
Well, I don't want to say it now.
Oh, okay.
Because you don't know the context of what we were talking about.
All right, okay.
But I remembered it.
I think I know the context of what you're talking about. You talking about brown shoes?
No. I'm not talking about brown shoes. I'm talking about something before you came in that we were talking about. It was a former NFL player. I couldn't remember his name.
Oh, okay. All right.
And I was like, what the hell was his name? And then bang, you go 3 home runs, and then it just popped in my head. I said, that's what it was. And I hit it before I forgot it into the talkback to Al, and then it distracted you.
And Al thought it was brown juice. You were naming.
Okay. Oh, no. I'm not talking about brown. I'm talking about remember the other thing I was talking about? Do you? The person who...
I do.
All right, good.
You are paying attention.
Yeah, all right.
Okay,
good.
so
right.
brown shoes, for those who don't know who we're talking about, is the guy who pooped on us yesterday.
Well, he didn't really.
Well, I mean, he kind of did. You walked right into it, so...
Well, he was using a toilet, but it just so happened to be a very, very powerful smell that I walked into. It was like as if I had opened an oven door and there was a turd in the oven.
Right. Well, I'm glad you mentioned the word powerful because that's exactly what the Yankees were last night. I mean, how intimidating is that when you have those 3 guys? And the fact is that Stanton was in right field and Judge was the DH. And then there's this little thing going on. I don't necessarily know that Aaron Boone let anything out of the bag between Aaron Judge and Boone. Everybody's looking for controversy, and I think the Yankees are going to be really careful with Aaron's arms, with his right throwing arm, and it seems like Aaron feels like he's feeling better and probably wants to start playing in the field. But right now, the Yankees are going to be really careful about that and cautious about that. But it was just, that's what the Yankees are supposed to be. I can't wait to listen to Brandon Tierney later on today.
No.
This is going to be the greatest thing ever. Now we're back on track and everything's going to be fine. And I'm telling you, the end of the season schedule for them sets up perfectly for them. If they don't catch Toronto, they may catch Toronto. Who knows? I think they have a really good chance. And I feel pretty good about, obviously their chances of making the playoffs. You and I said this, that they will be a playoff team regardless. They're just too good. And, I don't know about their starting pitching, and Max Fried's got to pick his game up, but I feel like their bullpen is finally settling down a little bit. I feel like the Mets bullpen is finally settling down a little bit. And the Mets are getting, they're hitting, and they're finally starting to hit with runners in scoring position. So, both baseball teams are in a good spot right now. The question is, for the Mets, they have a hell of a schedule.
In September.
The Yankees, the opposite.
Yep. A couple of things you mentioned there. You talked about Aaron Boone and Aaron Judge, and if people missed it yesterday on with BT and Sal, Aaron Boone, and I guess in the first couple of seconds of the interview, there were 2 boonies within the first minute.
They did that on purpose.
Really? I don't think so.
because they said that Recco set an over-under.
Oh, they did? Okay.
They were very aware of it.
They were aware of it, damn it.
So aware of it.
I wasn't sure. I thought that they have big pre-show meetings. I didn't think they were listening to us during that time.
Do they do whiteboard meetings?
Not anymore. I think they used to.
They don't need to.
Yeah, of course not. Well, who knows what they need to do? You know what I'm saying? Different shows, different things.
We can't worry about that. We can only worry about ourselves. But if we can help them in any way, we're here to help.
Of course, always supporting.
Want to promote them, want to talk about them,
Indeed.
unless we're told not to talk about them.
Right, of course. And
by the way, so you know, just so you know, speaking about things to talk about and not talk about, Aaron Boone and BT, Booney scolded BT for getting thrown out of the game.
Yeah, I know. I'm sure that was, he probably didn't love that, BT. Deep down, I don't know what his outward reaction was.
You have a major league manager questioning
Yeah,
you and your actions on your son's baseball field.
By the way, a guy who gets thrown out a decent amount, Aaron Boone. Like, he's very, very quiet for most of the season, but when he goes, and he gets tossed.
And he goes, "Come on, man!" Like I kind of heard the interview, and I was interested to see whether or not they were going to bring it up, and they brought it up.
Yeah, I didn't hear that part, so hopefully Jerry has it a little bit later. But anyway, so Aaron Boone's on with BT and Sal. They talk about Aaron Judge playing the field, and he gives this, I'm not so sure. We're going to see that, and the timetable. And then they go to Aaron Judge with that, and then Aaron Judge says, I don't know why he would say that. He hasn't seen me throw in a while. So
let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
He's the manager. He's a player that's there every day.
Yeah.
And they interact every day. Did they just not talk to each other?
I was going to ask you the same question.
I've never been in the baseball locker room, so I don't know for 160.
So where is he throwing where Aaron Boone isn't around?
I read last week that he and Stanton were playing catch.
Yeah, right. Well, that's what was happening. And where is Aaron Boone during this? He's not watching this? Or he's just getting reports from the trainers or whoever else?
You would think that they would be interacting. Maybe he was on a phone call with Brian Cashman or the analytics department or something. I don't know. Yeah.
But also you would think that he would immediately, if Aaron Judge is throwing, because it's such a big deal in lineup construction if Aaron Judge is a DH or not. But you would think if he knows he's throwing, he would ask him right after that, hey, how do you feel? What happened? And not just talk to the trainer. It's a little bit of a weird one. I'm not going to make a controversy out of it. It's just a little strange.
I am happy, though, that the writers were listening to the interview with Sal and BT because they got information that they didn't have.
Right.
And then they just hurriedly ran over to Aaron Judge and started saying, did you hear what Aaron Boone said? Did you hear what Aaron Boone said? Just slap all these guys around a little bit. It's just like, come on, man.
They're doing what they have to do. If I was in that position, I'd do the same thing. You got to go and ask them.
I guess you got to go get some information.
Yeah. It's a long season, a little juice. Why not? Go run over, get a quote. Ended up being a little bit of a story for them yesterday.
It's Yankee baseball. He hit home runs. They hit home runs.
He was great.
Stanton's out in the outfield. Everything's good. Caballero hits a couple home runs against his former team. Come on. Doesn't get much better than that.
No, it certainly doesn't, especially with, having both of them. Because we had two stretches this year where, the Yankees and Mets basically went through an entire week without winning a game between them. So when you come in and you have two rocking chair victories like that, home runs all over the place, watching these guys do what we expected them to do offensively for a night is great.
Especially Mark Vientos.
Yeah, who you know me, I love Mark Vientos.
Love yourself some Mark Vientos. That's for sure.
He definitely is one of those guys that I will over defend because I believe in him. So when things aren't going well, I always got his back. I'm fully aware of it. Like there's people that'll throw, well, he was this bad for this long or whatever, and I totally hear it. But to me, he's got that star power in him, and I wish it was more consistent. But he's getting going now, man. And, you saw his opposite field home run, his previous one. He pulls this one with his power.
What was the exit velocity on that?
I have no idea, man. I don't know. I have no clue what the exit velo was on that. I could find it for you if you'd like, but it was nice to see. And in this guy, man, and Beatty, too. That's a huge difference with this lineup. If those guys...
Of course.
It just makes it so much longer as opposed to, you get the Fab Four and then Black Hole,
Yeah, I know that. The problem with those two guys is they like to roll over pitches a lot, and they hit into double plays as well.
Sure.
So it's not a good thing.
No, which is not.
But I feel good this morning, seeing both teams win in the way that they won, and especially... David Peterson, who's been the most consistent starting pitcher for the Mets the entire season.
8 innings, my God.
Hey, remember our game last year? We went to a game, Do you remember who they were playing?
I don't know. I don't, actually.
Nationals.
Oh, they're playing the Nationals.
And who was on the mound?
David Peterson. I do remember that.
And what happened last night?
David Peterson against the Nationals.
Could this be a sign?
Maybe, because they were playing great after we went to that game. You know what David Peterson was doing last night? Shoving.
He was what?
He was shoving.
I thought he was dealing.
He was shoving.
What is shoving? What is that?
Shoving's the new dealing. He was shoving. Oh, yeah.
Is this like
it's
like kids slang? This is what they say when they're 16?
No, I don't think it's kids. I think it's now everybody in baseball.
Who says he? I've never heard that. This is the first
You've never heard a guy shoving?
No, I've heard a guy dealing.
No, he's shoving.
He's dealing.
No, he was shoving last night. You are so far
I
in
don't
the
care
past.
how far I am off of whatever. I'm telling you,
he went out there and shoved.
He was dealing.
He went out there and shoved.
He's dealing.
Okay, fine. Old man terminology
spot.
Stop
with that old man terminology spot crap. I'm sick of it.
I'm just trying to bring you back into this
I'm all
century,
for you,
man.
and I talked about this whole realignment and expansion and everything else.
Yeah.
I'm all for that.
Okay.
And I consider myself a baseball traditionalist, and I do like some of the things that they've done.
Yeah.
And I know there are people out there that disagree.
Remember when I said that Howie Rose and Gary Cohen, their face would be like melting off of their skull when they saw this? Well, I was right about that because Howie Rose put out a post, and he was not happy.
Yeah, I mean, not
happy.
I just say whatever, the other thing, too, is that, look, if there is a salary cap that ends up getting implemented, which is going to be very difficult for the owners and the major league players, I can assure you that there will be a salary floor that will have to be paid. Right here, baby.
You just did this.
I can assure you that would be part of the conversations, just like the NFL, just like the NBA. They're going to, if they can try to implement one of these things, they'll try to. I don't know how hard it's going to be, but, the thing about it is, like, think about your Juan Soto. You're making $60 million a year, and you get locked out. You think he wants to be locked out?
No, of course not. No.
Hell no.
No, I don't think anybody.
That's really always that's always been the problem with, like, the NFLPA. You have the haves and the have-nots. And the haves have all the power, the 10% of the players that are making most of the money. And the have-nots have very little power, but they want to make their money as quickly and as much as they can. And so you really have a fractured kind of union membership that is all over the place. And I would say probably 70% of the players aren't even paying attention to what the real issues are.
Oh, probably not.
And are you going to tell me that Patrick Mahomes or Josh Allen or Joe Burrow or Lamar Jackson, you think any of those guys are going to sit out and fight for, the other 90% of the players?
Probably not. I mean, so the most recent one in the NFL was that lockout that was what? It was like 2010 or 11. I think 11. There was a bit of a lockout in training camp.
I remember that, like, Drew Brees was threatening to sit out or something.
Yeah.
I felt like he was a part of the union trying. I'm like, he's making $50 million. I don't know if he was making $50 million at that time, but he was making a lot of money.
Well,
I'm like, let me tell you something. He is not sitting out. Nobody else is sitting out because it's not in the DNA of the players. They want to make as much money as they possibly can, as do the owners.
And to your point, they got that figured out in training camp, and everybody played, and no one missed a check.
Well, the one thing I will say about Roger Goodell that I do appreciate is that he's always trying to extend early. And he's trying to extend early because he knows that labor peace sells. He knows that when he goes to his network partners or his streaming partners and says, hey, I got an 8-year player deal, and this is what it is, now, everybody involved knows that there's going to be games for those 8 years. So it's an easier thing to sell as opposed to when you have labor strife and you're not really sure. And I think Major League Baseball is going through that right now, especially if they do expand. So if they do expand for 2 teams, it's going to be interesting to see how much it's going to cost somebody to buy into Major League Baseball. And then on top of that, if Rob Manfred does go through with what he was saying the other night, with the Mets and the Mariners at the Little League World Series up in Williamsport, if they do decide to expand and then realign, which I think is smart, which I think they should do, and you convinced me of this yesterday. Normally I would push back against it, but now I think the more the way these leagues are set up and what they're trying to do, I think would make it a lot easier and a lot cheaper for a lot of these owners when it comes to travel expenses, which are probably pretty exorbitant.
Oh, I can only imagine. I mean, you're thinking about, in the CBA, there's a certain amount of like hotels that they will go to and a certain level of things and the way that they fly.
I don't know. Juan Soto's probably in a ginormous suite somewhere.
So, of course, yeah.
But I will say,
and his entire family.
Right, exactly. When I think about just the NHL and the way the Metro division is set up, that's where you want to play. Yeah. If you could play for the Islanders or Rangers, Flyers, Capitals, it's easy. It's easy for them. They save money. It's
They're
smart.
right there. Bang, bang, bang. Boom, boom, boom.
Play more games against those teams. Sell more tickets against those teams.
Sure.
I mean, if the Islanders could, they would play 20 games against the Rangers. Because there'd be a sellout every time.
Yeah, I was looking at that schedule the other day, actually, to see the first time that the Rangers and Islanders played.
It's not until late.
Like December 27th or something.
Yeah.
They go through a couple of months. It's silly. I feel like that needs to be worked on as well. But anyway, happy baseball day this morning. We've got some NFL news coming up in a little bit as well. Jerry Recco is going to play you all the highlights and more coming up from last night. Some weather for you